You think you're thinking right now. You're not. What's actually happening is your brain is running a series of shortcuts, filters, and reconstructions that produce something that feels like thinking but regularly produces conclusions that are wrong, biased, and completely invisible to you. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly which parts of your own mind you cannot trust, and the one thing you can actually do about it. Your brain is not a camera. The first thing to understand, your brain does not record reality. It constructs it. Every sensory experience you have is a reconstruction built from partial information, filled in with predictions and assumptions. The color you see right now is not in the object you're looking at. It's generated by your visual cortex based on wavelength data, ambient light, and learned color categories. Two people looking at the same wall in the same light can report slightly different colors. Both are correct. Both are experiencing a different brain's construction of the same input. Your perception is not reality. It's your brain's best current guess about reality. But that's not even the craziest part. Your memories are not recordings either. Every time you recall a memory, you are not playing back a stored file. You are reconstructing it from fragments, filling in gaps with what you would expect to have been there, and then storing the reconstruction back over the original. This means every time you remember something, you slightly change it. Studies by Elizabeth Loftus showed that false memories can be implanted by simply asking leading questions. Subjects remembered events that never happened, in detail, with confidence. The memory felt completely real. It was completely fabricated. Your most confident memories are the least trustworthy, because confidence in a memory is produced by fluency of reconstruction, not accuracy. Confirmation bias. Your brain has a preference. It prefers to be right, not accurate. There is a difference. Being accurate means updating your beliefs when evidence contradicts them. Being right means finding evidence that supports what you already believe and discarding the rest without noticing you're discarding it. Confirmation bias is the automatic tendency to search for, interpret, favor, and remember information that confirms your existing beliefs. It operates below conscious awareness. You don't decide to do it. You don't experience it as selective. You experience its output as neutral information gathering, while it is actually a heavily curated selection process running constantly in the background. Every news article you stop to read, every argument you find convincing, every statistic you remember, has been filtered. The filter is invisible. The result feels like objective assessment. But here's where it gets strange. The smarter you are, the better you are at confirmation bias. Higher intelligence doesn't produce more accurate beliefs. It produces more sophisticated rationalizations of existing beliefs. Studies consistently show that highly intelligent people are better at constructing arguments for whatever they already believe, not better at finding the truth. The bias uses your cognitive tools against you. Your reasoning ability becomes a weapon for defending conclusions you reached before you started reasoning. The emotional reasoning trap. Most of what you call thinking is actually emotional reasoning working backward. You feel something first. Then you construct reasons that justify the feeling. Then you experience the constructed reasons as the cause of the feeling. Research on split-brain patients showed this clearly. When the right hemisphere was shown an image that caused a negative emotional response, the left hemisphere, which couldn't see the image, immediately invented a plausible verbal explanation for why the person felt bad. The explanation was always wrong. The confidence was always complete. Your brain is generating post hoc explanations for emotional states and presenting them to you as rational thoughts. Most of the time you cannot tell the difference. And it gets even darker. The Dunning-Kruger effect is real and you are not immune to it. People with limited knowledge in a domain consistently overestimate their competence because they lack the knowledge to recognize what they don't know. But the more disturbing finding is the reverse. Genuine experts consistently underestimate their competence because they're aware of the complexity and uncertainty in their field. The pattern means that the people most confident in a topic are often the least informed, and the people most qualified to have an opinion frequently hedge it most heavily. Your confidence in your own thoughts is inversely correlated with the accuracy of those thoughts across a significant range of domains. the narrative self. Here's something almost nobody tells you about identity. The self you experience as continuous, consistent, and in control is a story your brain tells you. Neuroscientist Michael Gazzaniga called the left hemisphere's story-generating system the interpreter. It takes whatever the rest of the brain produces and constructs a coherent narrative explanation for it, retroactively. You didn't decide to reach for the coffee cup. Your motor system initiated the movement. Then your interpreter explained that you decided to reach for the coffee. The decision felt like it came first. The neuroscience consistently shows it came after. The self that feels like it is choosing and thinking and reasoning is largely narrating choices that have already been made by processes it has no direct access to. But the biggest twist is this. Knowing about cognitive biases does not protect you from them. Dozens of studies on people who have been taught about confirmation bias, the halo effect, and anchoring consistently show that knowledge of the bias produces little to no reduction in susceptibility to it. You can name the bias, explain its mechanism, describe the research, and still fall for it in the next decision you make. The biases are not in the conscious reasoning layer where the knowledge lives. They're in the automatic processing layer that the conscious reasoning layer has almost no access to. Awareness is not the same as immunity. Structure is the answer. So what do you do with this? The answer that has the most research support is not willpower or awareness. It's structure. You design systems that produce better outputs than your intuitive thinking does. Pre-commit to decisions before the emotional state arrives that will distort them. Get your predictions on record before the outcome is known so you can't revise them retroactively and remember being right. Seek out people who will genuinely argue against your position. Not people who perform disagreement and then agree with you anyway. Ask specifically for disconfirming evidence, not confirming evidence. Change the process, not the thinker. The brain you're using to evaluate whether this is true is the same brain producing the biases being described. That's not a reason to distrust everything you think. It's a reason to trust it appropriately. Your intuitive thoughts are a starting point, not a conclusion. The checkpoints you build around them, the external accountability, the pre-committed rules, the genuine adversarial feedback, those are not a sign that your thinking is broken. They're the upgrade. The brain that builds those structures around itself is doing more accurate thinking than the brain that trusts itself unconditionally, which, ironically, is also a thought your brain just produced. Check it anyway.